The verdict is in, and nobody won. Yes, when it comes to the collapse of Santa, the Charity Commission did a whole investigation, and really, in some ways,
Prince Harry no longer has real power in the charity he helped create. This goes beyond a simple role change. It's a clear removal of his authority that reveals serious problems with his leadership abilities. Organization insiders say senior staff filed multiple complaints about Harry's management approach, his conduct, and his failure to contribute meaningful strategic direction. These issues led to what sources describe as his effective dismissal from the project he originally helped establish. The damage extends beyond just his reputation. This situation exposes major flaws in Harry's ability to function as an effective leader in the charitable sector. His credibility as a serious philanthropist and global advocate is now under serious question. The removal suggests Harry struggled with basic leadership responsibilities and couldn't meet the standards expected in professional charitable work. This failure raises doubts about his capacity to successfully manage other philanthropic ventures or maintain his position as a respected public figure in the charity world.
This situation, both Prince Harry and the chair of the board, Dr. Sophie Chanduka. And what we want to do today is actually go through the actual Charity Commission report, because I've seen a lot of people.
Here are the issues that caused this situation. People inside the charity say Harry's participation had become harmful to the organization. Several staff members complained about his need to control everything and his habit of ignoring expert recommendations. Staff reported that Harry approached meetings with an entitled attitude instead of working as a team member. He would push for big, impressive projects that lacked practical planning or realistic goals. His ideas sounded good but had no solid foundation or clear way to actually accomplish them. The pattern showed Harry prioritizing his own vision over professional input, creating friction with experienced charity workers who understood what could actually be achieved.
Version of the situation, because everybody has their spin here. But what I want to do is have us go through the actual report, not doing little clips or anything like that. Read what the Charity Commission.
Reports from inside show that employees felt uncomfortable around Harry because he ignored normal work rules and wouldn't listen when people tried to give him helpful feedback. Staff members felt they had to be extremely careful about what they said or did. The most serious problem involved money management connected to Harry's work. No one has accused him of breaking the law, but staff repeatedly complained that he wanted expensive publicity events and wasteful spending that used up money meant for actual charity work. Senior charity leaders expressed concerns about wrong priorities. They said Harry cared more about making himself look good in public than creating real, lasting help for people. His focus on getting attention for himself took resources away from the charity's main goals. The pattern showed Harry putting his personal image ahead of the organization's mission to help others.
Prince Harry has responded to evidence of widespread bullying at an organisation he set up in memory of his mother, Princess Diana. The dispute at the heart of Santa saw the Duke of Sussex resign as the charity's chair.
These problems led to official investigations and questions from people who had donated money for years. Longtime supporters became disappointed and started doubting whether the charity was headed in the right direction. Harry's fights with other board members became so bad that several important people quit their positions to show they disagreed with how things were being run. One board member who left wrote a private statement calling Harry unsuitable for leadership because he couldn't keep his personal feelings separate from his job responsibilities. Harry has tried to present himself as a caring person who helps others around the world. But charity professionals say he constantly argued with experienced workers who questioned his celebrity-focused methods. The conflicts show a basic problem. Harry wanted to run the charity like an entertainment business instead of listening to people who knew how charitable organizations actually work.
Who accused him of harassment during an interview.
Charity was founded in honour of our mothers and symbolises...
There's an irony that Harry's voice is on this video, called The New Chapter and recorded before the breakdown within Centre Bali.
The fighting between board members damaged their ability to work together. This led to all board members voting to change how the organization worked, a change that removed Harry's authority without making a public announcement about it. The problems weren't just with senior leadership. Former workers, speaking privately, said Harry's involvement created more problems than benefits. When he showed up, it turned into a media event with photographers and reporters everywhere, but nothing useful got done afterward. One employee spoke up after months of complaints were filed with human resources. The complaints covered Harry's unprofessional behavior, his poor job of giving people clear instructions, and his habit of not showing up when he was supposed to be there. Workers said his visits disrupted normal operations and created publicity situations instead of focusing on the charity's actual work helping people.
Now a report says all sides have to take the blame. The Charity Commission criticising both Prince Harry and Chair Sophie Chandauka for allowing their personal dispute to play out so publicly, including through this exclusive interview.
The charity's trustees felt they had to act quickly. Instead of creating a public embarrassment, they quietly changed how power worked in the organization, basically removing Harry from making important decisions. Big donors who used to be happy to have their name connected with Harry started pulling their money out. When they looked at project reports, they found problems with the facts and very little proof that the work was actually helping people. Several major funders asked tough questions about whether their donations were being used to create real change or just to make Harry look good in public. They wanted to know if their money was going to help people or just boost Harry's reputation. When donations started dropping, the trustees realized they had no choice but to take control. The money problems forced them to act before the charity ran into serious financial trouble.
On Sky News.
Really, what Prince Harry wanted to do was to eject me from the organisation, and this went on for months. It went on for months through bullying, harassment. I have documentation.
The regulator found no evidence.
Other organizations became concerned that staying connected to Harry could hurt their chances of getting future partnerships and funding. They didn't want his problems to damage their own work. As more information comes out about Prince Harry leaving the charity he helped start, the behind-the-scenes problems look worse than just a simple reorganization. The situation appears to be more like a complete breakdown in trust rather than normal business changes. Someone close to the situation told reporters that both Prince Harry and his longtime partner, Prince Seeiso of Lesotho, believe they cannot return to work with Centable while the current chairperson remains in charge. This means the split appears to be permanent, with Harry and his ally completely cut off from the organization they originally built together.
Evidence of bullying, misogyny and misogynoir, a relief for Harry and his supporters. Sophie Chandauka does remain as chair of Centre Bali, as the charity is placed under a regulatory action plan.
Sophie Chandauka is now running the charity. The situation has deeply upset both Prince Harry and Prince Seeiso, who feel that Sophie Chandauka has taken over their organization in an aggressive way. This charity represented the most important work of Prince Seeiso and Prince Harry's lives. They started it 19 years ago and spent nearly 2 decades working hard and investing their own money to build it up. They turned it into a charity worth millions of pounds that successfully helped people in the communities it served in Lesotho and Botswana. The organization had grown from their personal vision into something that made a real difference to the people who needed help. Now they have lost control of everything they built, and someone else is making all the decisions about the work they created and cared about most.
It's generally a very straightforward action plan with maybe 5 or 6 steps that the trustees are bound to take with a timetable, and the trustees have to relate back to the Charity Commission to report on their observance and carrying out of the action plan.
This wasn't just a simple leadership change. It was a planned removal of the people who originally created the charity, replaced by business-focused management that cares more about looking good in public and following corporate rules and actually helping people. The fact that Harry and Seeiso, who were like fathers to Centable, now feel kicked out of their own organization shows how bad the working environment has become under Chandauka's control. What makes this situation even worse is that this charity didn't start because of royal duties or wanting to look important. It came from Harry's personal experiences and feelings. Prince Harry had visited Lesotho when he was young, and the trip affected him deeply. The charity grew out of his genuine care for the people he met there, not from any official royal responsibility or desire for publicity. Now that personal connection and mission has been taken away from him.
But it doesn't seem to have stopped the war of words. Dr. Chandauka, in a statement, said the unexpected adverse media campaign that was launched by those who resigned on the 24th of March 2025 has caused incalculable damage and offers a glimpse of the unacceptable behaviours displayed.
Harry developed genuine friendships with orphan children during his visits and discovered work that meant more to him than any formal royal duties ever had. This charity was the one thing he could call completely his own, separate from his royal family responsibilities. now is losing control of even that personal achievement. People who criticize Harry say his damaged public reputation, made worse by his move to Hollywood and Meghan's confrontational approach with the media, may have created the opportunity for others to take over his charity. His controversial decisions and public conflicts gave his critics the opening they needed to question his leadership and push him out of the organization he created from personal experience and genuine caring. The very public problems in his life provided ammunition for people who wanted to remove him from the charity that represented his most meaningful work.
In private. While a source close to Prince Harry and Prince Say-So said they are utterly devastated and see this as nothing short of a hostile takeover of the charity. They've put in blood, sweat and tears, and what's taken place under Sophie Chandauka's tenure is shocking.
Some people think the charity's board members got tired of the bad publicity and wanted to separate the organization from Harry's damaged reputation. Whether this was right or wrong, the results are clear. Harry has lost control of the organization that showed his genuine care for helping others. People who support Chandauka say the charity needed to become more businesslike and professional in how it operates. However, people inside the organization wonder if making it more corporate is worth losing the personal touch and real purpose that made it special. The big question now is, what happens when office work and business meetings become more important than actually going out and helping people in the field? This situation shows the tension between running an efficient organization and keeping the personal connections that made the charity meaningful in the first place.
Have to have the briefest look at the Centre Bali website, and you can see that Prince Harry is still all over it. And actually, when you talk to people on both sides of this argument, they will tell you that there was a time when everyone was happily discussing the future of Centre Bali. That was until this row.
This situation is especially painful for Prince Siso, who still lives in Lesotho and stays closely connected to the daily lives of the people Centable helps. For him, this feels like being betrayed in every possible way. For Prince Harry, this is just another organization he's lost control of, another relationship that's been destroyed, and another important part of his life that's now over. His life has become a series of losses and damaged connections. The big worry now is whether this is just the start of a larger effort to remove Harry's involvement from all the projects he still has some connection to. This could be the beginning of people systematically taking away Harry's influence and control from every remaining organization or cause he's still involved with.
Fascinating is to see whether or not Harry's departure and the attention he brings is really going to be in the best interest of the charity going forward. We're told that Lesotho and Botswana remain a priority for Harry. Now it's about working out how he can still help in a meaningful way as the charity moves forward without him.
The question now is whether Harry has become such a problem that even his charitable organizations want to remove his personal influence and replace it with standard business practices. The dramatic conflict from this takeover has surprised people throughout the charity world and those who follow royal news. Prince Harry and Prince Siso aren't just upset about losing their jobs. They are struggling with feeling betrayed after being forced out of something they created from nothing. People close to both men say they still can't believe how fast everything fell apart. Their removal wasn't handled quietly or respectfully. Instead, it became a public destruction of almost 20 years of hard work, personal pride, and the legacy they had built together. The situation has left both founders dealing with the shock of watching their life's work being taken away from them in full view of the public.
It's very much like recollections may vary. That is your perception of the situation, but that might not be what actually occurred or happened. And we were told at one point that there was an email that stated that Harry was
Sources close to Harry report that Prince Harry appeared visibly upset and hurt by recent developments. What initially seemed like a simple disagreement within a charity has become a significant loss for the Duke, who has been working to maintain influence over the few projects that define his identity outside of royal duties. The loss of Centibel holds special meaning for Harry. He helped create this charity following his mother's death, driven by grief and a desire to help others. This departure represents more than just a professional setback. It affects him personally. He now watches as someone else leads what he considered his most important work. Sophie Chandauka, who plays a central role in these changes, has received mixed reactions. Some people praise her strategic thinking and focus on the organization's long-term success. Others view her actions as self-serving and disrespectful to the charity's founders. People in the charitable sector suggest she is trying to make the organization more businesslike, moving away from its emotional and humanitarian roots. This approach concerns both princes. The media has taken notice of this situation. News organizations are investigating the leadership changes at Centerbell. Some reporters claim the board removed Harry's influence to create a more mainstream image for the charity, one without royal connections or controversies. The message seems clear, whether intended or not. Harry's involvement is now seen as harmful rather than helpful. This forced exit raises important questions about Harry's actual control over his personal projects. It also supports a growing public view that the Duke is losing influence in areas he once dominated. From family estrangement to unsuccessful entertainment projects, and now charity problems, a clear pattern emerges. In Lesotho and Botswana, the communities this charity was meant to serve, people wonder who truly represents Centerbell's original mission now that its founders have been pushed aside. This question likely weighs on Harry and his brother as they watch the charity they once supported move forward without them. For Prince Harry, this represents more than just a defeat. It's a public removal of another piece of his identity. The emotional impact of this rejection may last for a long time.